So I'm Sally Davenport, and I have been a professor at Victoria University in Wellington for over 30 years. My area is very much this commercialisation of science, growth of high-tech firms, impact of research, that sort of thing. So what OpenInnoTrain has been doing is really right bang in my area of interest. I'm been very impressed with the program, I have to say. I've only been involved in it for the last 6 months or so. I got involved because I've been running a National Science Challenge in New Zealand, and particularly in the last few years we've been very much thinking about how do we get our research community of about 700 researchers to think earlier about how to maximise potential impact. We've also put a lot of thought into what do we mean by impact, so it's not just a commercial product, it could be environmental impact, societal impact, those sorts of things. But one of the things that we found in the National Science Challenge, which is called Science for Technological Innovation, is that it's the early career researchers who really want to get involved with this sort of approach to research, that they don't agree with the traditional impact as just being publishing in journals, that they really do want to do something that has a more broader societal impact. And so I think OpenInnoTrain is doing a really great job of aiming at those early career researchers who, even at this stage, want to have a bigger impact than just the traditional approach to academic research. So what I also really like about the program is that, you know, policies often say you should have impact or you should collaborate more, or you must work with industry, but they never tell you how to do it. And I think one of the things that I've been very impressed with here is the way they work through the canvases to give the participants confidence about the fact that, yes, we can map out a journey here towards impact rather than just being left to their own devices to go and sort out how to do this. So I think it's, I'd like to think it could have lasting impact because on the people themselves that are participating, because you're training them in a way of behaving that's going to outlast the program. And that, from my point of view, is a more lasting way of training people than just saying, go and do it while you've got money, and as soon as the project ends, sorry, you don't have to collaborate anymore. So I think that my understanding is the program's been going for about 5 years, and that it's been driven by Anne Law with a lot of very good support. I commend them greatly on what they're doing, and I wish them luck in maybe finding some more ways to continue their impact journey. Essentially, research is problem solving, and I think one of the things that does a disservice to academic research is that it's traditionally understood as if it's a linear process, that you've planned out, you've got your goals here and you're going to make those goals, and so it's sort of the way we have to apply for research funding, it almost implies you know what the outcome is going to be, as opposed to it being a really very ambiguous, muddly process that can often lead you down some interesting tangents. So I think that's one of the things that I think of research as problem solving all the time. It's sort of like, well, that's interesting. Why did that happen? So to me, it's I don't find that sort of a contradiction. But I think entrepreneurship in a university setting has been sort of seen as very applied, and therefore is sort of pigeonholed as being almost dirty. And I think that's the problem we've almost got to get overcome, I think, with some of the concepts about entrepreneurship and applied research. I mean, we talked yesterday about the fact that, you know, can you really do pure research that's published in, or pure and applied? That even I just fell into that problem, right? So do high quality research that's published in journals, or can you do high quality research that's got application? I think you can do both at the same time, which I think is what we were talking about yesterday. They're not antagonistic to each other. So for me, I think teaching research as problem solving is probably a very sensible way of doing it. I think the problem is we're not really ever taught to do research. You sort of learn to be a researcher through being an apprentice, particularly to your PhD supervisor, and they don't necessarily have the training either. So you end up sort of almost just modelling what you're doing on the people that you admire, hopefully, in the system. And so it's probably very haphazard and probably just luck if you end up having a good experience of being trained to do research as problem solving. Yes, I mean, one of the things I like about the program is it's a very collaborative process. Okay, so it's not just talking heads telling you how to do this. It's actually it's actually putting some of these people out of their comfort zone. They've never had to think about these things through before, but actually by going through that process gives them a great deal of confidence that if they can solve this small task that they've been given to fill out this impact canvas through this program, that perhaps they can do that when they're actually in a real life collaborative system. Because collaboration is not straightforward, it's got a life cycle, it comes and goes, it ebbs and flows, you're going to have some conflict. So how do you manage that? If you've got that problem solving collaborative approach, I think hopefully you'll have a stronger foundation from which to solve any of those sorts of problems.